All right. Today, guys, we're going to review how to find slope. These are the notes that we took on yesterday, page 28 in our digital interactive notebook. Let's slide this down just a little bit. All right. So remember that the definition for slope is the steepness of a line. The letter that represents slope is M. There are four kinds of slope that we talked about. Four kinds or four types of slope. There is positive slope, where as x increases, y increases. That's the mathematical way to describe this line. How do we know that this line is going up? Because we always read our x-axis from left to right. As we read our x-axis from left to right, the leftmost part of the line starts here. And as we can see that from here, that line is going up. So if the line is going up, it has a positive slope. And what that means is the number for M is going to be a positive number. Okay? For negative slope, as x increases, y increases. And x is always going to increase. Why does x always increase, Ms. Reyes? Great question. X always increase because you read the x-axis from left to right, like you're reading a book. So as I look from left to right, the leftmost part of the line starts here. This is where the line starts, on the left. And as you can see from left to right, the line is going down. So here, this is described as a negative slope if the line is going down. That means that M is going to be a negative number. No slope or zero slope. No slope are lines that are horizontal, no matter if the horizontal line is down here or up here. If it's a flat line, M is equal to 0. This line has no incline to it, no slope, which means 0 is the number that represents this slope. Fourth kind of slope is undefined. Think about it like this. You cannot walk up a line. You can climb this, but you can't. It's impossible for you to walk up this line here. All vertical lines have undefined slope, no matter if the vertical line is over here or if it's over here. Vertical lines have undefined slope. What does that look like with numbers? Well, the fraction looks like this. When you get an answer or calculate an answer where you have a number on top and 0 on the bottom, this is undefined. Why is this undefined? Because you can't draw nothing and shade in 5. This fraction is undefined. It's not possible to illustrate this. It's not possible to draw this. The same as this. It doesn't matter if the number is positive or negative. If you have a number on top and a 0 on the bottom as the denominator, this answer is still undefined. That means the line looks like this if you were to draw it. Any questions about the 4 different kinds of slope? I'll pause for the calls real quickly. All right, guys, look at this. Then we talked about the formulas that you use to calculate slope. The formula that we're using right now is rise over run because we're finding slopes of a line. We're given a line, and so we use rise over run. The rise, or the numerator, is the up or down. This is how many spaces I go up or down to get to the next point that's on the line. Okay, and all I'm doing is just picking 2 points on that line, and from one point to the other point, how far do I go up or how far do I go down? If I go up to get to that point, my top number is a positive. If I go down to get to that point, my top number is a negative. Run is how far I go from to the left or the right to get to that next point. Okay? If I go to the left to get to that point, my bottom number is going to be a negative. If I go to the right to get to that point, my bottom number is going to be a positive. And I reduce or simplify, or in many cases, I do both. I simplify and reduce. Okay, I'm going to pause once more. Are there any? I'm going to go over the independent practice problems from yesterday, and then you're going to work on the independent practice problems for today. Okay? All right, so we're going to continue with number 3. I did 1 and 2 yesterday, so we're going to continue with number 3. Please make sure that you make corrections to your work, okay? If you have questions, please stop me, okay? If I'm moving too fast, let me know. What kind of slope is this? From left to right, I notice that the line is going down. What kind of slope would this be? Yemelith, what kind of slope is this right here? What kind of slope is that? Or anybody? Anybody know what kind of slope that is? Ooh. Somebody got to know, crying out loud. Okay, somebody said undefined. Let's go back and look at my picture. Undefined slope are vertical lines. They're straight up and down. Okay? They're straight up and down lines. They're vertical lines. All right? So this line right here that's going down is not an undefined slope. But great try. Somebody different? Any other guesses? A negative slope. Very good. This line is going down. From the left, this is up here. And look at what happens. The line is going down. So this has a negative slope. So please make sure that you label this as a negative slope. This line has a negative slope. The line is going down. The formula and the directions I told you that I want you to write the formula for slope for each problem so we can remember. And it's rise over run. So we have this point right here and this point right here. 2 points that I can actually read. Okay? So here I'm going to go from this point to this point here. Using my grid lines, I'm going to do my rise first. To get from this point to this point, I have to go down. Now, how far do I go down? I go from here to here. This is 1. This is down 1, down 2, down 3. So since it's down 3, my top number is a negative 3. Now how far do I go over? I go over to the right, 1, 2. So since I'm going to the right twice, my bottom number is a positive 2. I reduce this fraction, and it's already reduced. So I can keep it as an improper fraction as long as it's reduced, and that's going to be my answer there. I could change it to a decimal if I like, or I can just keep it as a fraction. I'm going to pause for the cause. All right. What kind of slope is this? If I'm reading my graph from left to right, the leftmost part of the line is down here. This is the leftmost part of the line. And from here, my line is going up. Any guesses as to what kind of slope that is? This is a positive slope. So I'm going to write positive slope here. Okay. Again, I want us to rewrite the formula for each of the problems that we do. Rise over run. I picked 2 points on the line. The 2 points that are on the line are already given. This point here and this point here. Just make sure that I can read those ordered pairs. And I can. Now I'm going to go from this point to this point. Okay. Using the grid lines, I'm going to do my rise first. So that's up or down. So to get to this point here, I have to go up. So how far do I go up? So watch me count. I go up 1, then up 2, then up 3. So my top number is a positive 3 because I'm going up 3. Now I'm doing run, which is to the left or to the right. I'm going to the right. So that means I go to the right. I count over to the right 1, 2 times. So my bottom number is a positive 2 because I'm going to the right 2 times. Make sure that my fraction is reduced, and it is reduced. So this is my answer. And I don't know if you noticed that since this is a negative slope, notice how my answer is a negative. This is a positive slope. Notice how my answer is a positive. I'm going to pause for the cause. All right, so let's look at this. Number 5. What kind of slope is number 5? What kind of slope is number 5? Anybody? Very good. It is a positive slope. Excellent job. So I'm going to write positive slope here. Okay. Great job, babe. With all of the problems, here again, I want you to write the formula that you're using. The formula for calculating slope or finding the slope is rise over run. Okay. I picked 2 points on the line. The 2 points on the line are already given. If they're not given, you choose the 2 points, any 2 points that you want. Just make sure that you can read the order pairs, okay? Now I'm going to go from this point here to this point here using my grid lines. My rise is my up or down. To get from this point to this point, I have to go up, okay? So I'm going to count how far I go up. Watch me count from here to here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went up 5, okay? So my top number is 5, a positive 5. Now I'm going to the right. Going to the right. So this is over to the right. I count. Watch me count. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to the right 3 times. So my bottom number is a 3. Make sure that my fraction is reduced, and it is reduced. I can change this to a decimal if I like, or just keep it as a reduced fraction. So my answer here is a positive 5 over 3. And notice that my answer is a positive because this is a positive slope. Questions? Number 6. What kind of slope is number 6? Somebody different. What kind of slope is number 6? Any guesses? I'll pause real quickly. Okay, so we got positive slope. Okay. Now, again, we rewrite the formula, rise over run. I want us to know that by heart. Okay. Now, we pick 2 points on the line. Make sure it's 2 points you can read the ordered pairs, and you can. Now we're going to go from this point to this point. So rise means up or down. So from here to here, I use the grid lines and go up. So this is going to be a positive number. Watch me count. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I go up 7. So my top number is a positive 7. Now to get to this point, I go to the right. So that's a positive number. So when I go to the right, I go to the right. Watch me count. I go over 1, over 2, over 3. So my bottom number is a positive 3. Make sure that my fraction is reduced, and it is reduced. It's an improper fraction, but it is reduced. And this is my answer. You can change it to a decimal if you like. Any questions about that? Okay. All right, let's look at number 7. Somebody different. If you don't want to speak, guys, please type it in the chat. What kind of slope is number 7? What kind of slope is number 7? And I'll pause real quickly, give you time to think. I only have going. This, remember, when you're reading the graph, you read from left to right. The leftmost part of the line start right here. This is where the line starts. This is the left part of the line. And look at how it's going. The line is going down from left to right. So this is a negative slope. The line is going down here. So I'm going to write negative slope. Okay? Have a question in the chat. Very good, Ureli. Good job. Okay? All right. Now, again, we're writing the formula. M is equal to rise over run. Okay. M is equal to rise over run. You're going to use the grid lines to calculate the slope. I'm going to go from this point here to this point here. So to get from this point to this point, using the grid lines, I have to go down. So my top number is going to be a negative. So let's count. Watch me count. I go from here to here. This is 1, down 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So my top number is a negative 6 because I go down 6. Then from here, I go to the right. So I count how many times I go to the right, and that's 1, 2 times to the right. So down 6, to the right 2. So positive 2 on the bottom. I reduce or simplify this. When I simplify, negative 6 divided by positive 2 is going to be a negative 3. So my slope is a negative 3. And notice how the kind of slope it is negative. So I knew that my answer would also have to be a negative. Any questions about number 7? Okay. Number 8. What kind of slope is number 8? I'm going to pause here. Please put your answers in the chat. Last recording there.